welcome back to the channel and In the Car podcast. And recently life has been a little chaotic. I'm not gonna say life is impossible right now, but it definitely is a slap in the face, especially whenever you have like new goals for yourself and expectations, and then realizing that like your goals and aspirations aren't actually going to be reached. You're kind of just stuck here and you're just like, what am I doing wrong as a human being? Like, is life really this hard for everyone in society? Because I fucking feel for you. An example of a goal, I thought I was going to be able to move into an apartment I felt like at home, at peace, a place that made me feel like I did in Grand Rapids, like a place that I could confide in and I could grow a future in. And I was more than confident. I was like, I've been having so many interviews recently, like something has to pan out, right? Something has to pan out for me. And then I had my side hustles. I have a bar job, which isn't going too well at the moment. And then I, for a little bit, was doing like Uber Eats and stuff, which was like an okay, decent like side hustle money where I could put that money that I was making from these two side hustles to the side where I could save up and, you know, potentially get this apartment that I really wanted, and I would just finally feel at home and at peace and like confident with like what I was growing. Really feel for people because life isn't that easy. Like, I am paying more than I want to admit to, like more than $2,000 for rent, which is probably the same price for a mortgage for a four-story house in the South. On top of that, the next slap in the face for 2023, a few days ago, I recently got spam called by my loan that I had for college, my student loan debt phone calls. I got spammed with about like 10 of them all at once. It wasn't like spread out. It wasn't like over the course of like 1 day, 2 days. It was all at once. So in my head, I was like, okay, this is like hitting red flags. Like, this phone number is obviously for my student loan. Like, what's going on? Like, I was pretty confident that my student loans weren't going to come due until July, which would be fine because, like I said, by that point I would have my 2 side hustles plus a new job or a new, you know, encounter that I would be hopefully developing, getting like 50 hours or so from this main new job. And this is when I get slapped in the face. So I finally pick up one of these phone calls, and it's like an automated message saying that like, sign in to your account, check on the status of your loan is like overdue. I said, holy cow. So I signed into my student loan, and come to find out, with a single female living alone in California, paying more than $2,000 by herself to live without a full-time job, just side hustles going on for her at the moment, is now being expected to pay $800 a month. That's right, $800 a month. There's like no forbearance, there's like no pushback, you know, none of that. There's not even a deferment where I can defer it for like later when I actually have a full-time job. Because after I called them, I was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know, like, I'm a recent graduate. I saw where like my dues are like starting to come, you know, due. And I just wanted to let you know that like I don't have any form of an employment at the moment, and $800 is out of my mean. Like, is it okay if I just pay the interest rate towards my loan? And they said, no ma'am, you have 30 days to like pay this. After the 30-day notice, you'll hit your 60-day notice, which will then put on your penalty fees for not paying us the correct dues. You know, it'll affect your credit score badly. And I said, okay, is there any way I can like forbear them or defer them or push them back until further notice? Like, I've been having like interviews and like I'm pretty confident that maybe something will come around. And he's like, no, not for you at this moment. Are you currently in school? And I said, no sir, I'm not currently in school. I just finished my internship. And he's like, I'm sorry, we don't have anything for you at this moment. Have a good day. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is uncalled for. Like, how can we live in a society where a single person that doesn't have a full-time job is being expected to pay $800 a month? Like, I don't know. maybe I'm being overly dramatic. If I did have a full-time job, maybe this would be okay, and maybe this would be in my means. So it's almost like when you start to look at yourself and you're like, what am I doing wrong? Like, am I really doing this life thing wrong? Should I have not came to California? Should I have went back after my internship? Should I have like sought out jobs online, applied online, and didn't exactly try to hustle as hard as I did? Because I feel like if anything, I'm just getting slapped in the face. I feel like maybe $800 would have been feasible if I was back in Grand Rapids and I was working at Wolfgang Puck like 40 hours a week. Like, okay, yeah, I can pay you $800, but like right now, life is like not going too great for me. I want to know if anyone else has any like New Year's resolutions. I feel like my resolutions are definitely out of my means because the apartment that I actually wanted is around $1,000 more than what I pay now. And I thought it was kind of like okay because it was a 1-bedroom. I only live in a studio. It's like I'm paying, you know, $1,000 extra. I'm gonna like have a 1-bedroom apartment. I'll have more room. I can eventually, you know, save up and get like the bed I really wanted. Life is just gonna finally start to feel right. And then right when I think it's starting to go right, it totally goes the opposite way. And I think the biggest thing I have to realize that success is not a straight line. Success is often very directional. It comes and goes in waves. And it's okay for me to feel like this and like be this low. That's my current circumstance at the moment. Not going financially well. And I will say that I am probably better off than some other people, but it's just not going well. Other things that are going on in my life is I already knew that January was going to be a hard month for me. I think another goal that I had going into 2023 is that if I can make it past January into February, I would be pretty alright. And why I say that is recently my dog was having issues with like not wanting to eat his food as often. He wasn't like chewing it, he was often just like swallowing it. And I started to get really worried for him, and I started to be like, I don't know what's going on. And I checked in his mouth and he has like all this plaque buildup on his teeth. So I took him to a dentist to kind of get like a second hand kind of perspective into what they thought was going on. And they basically kind of told me that he needed to be like put down, and he needed like a surgery done to him. He needed like blood work. They were gonna do x-rays. They needed to like go and get off the plaque buildup where it wouldn't like turn into worse periodontal disease than it already started. And apparently with small breeds dog, it's just prone to happen. And it wasn't necessarily like me not caring for him correctly. It was just something that small dogs got. And the only reason why that's kind of like not necessarily in my means either is the price for all that is pretty hefty, for blood work, for x-rays, to be put down. To be put down and stuff is like a few $1,000s, which is like almost the price of a rent bill. And I really love my dog. I think my dog is probably the closest thing I have to like my own family. Is like I see him as my son, and I would do anything for him. Like I would go out of my way to make sure that, you know, he's living his best life and that he can be as healthy as he possibly can. Like I'm not gonna mistreat him. So after they told me what was in his best interest, I immediately was like, okay, there is no not doing this now. This is like something that I have to commit myself to. So I already had going into it, I was like, there somehow has to be a way that I can make around $6,000 or so in order to pay for my rent and this. At the same time of that all happening, my parents decide to move to Florida. They're getting close to retirement age. That's something they've always wanted to do, and I'm super happy that they were able to make that happen. But with that in hand is they also needed help like painting, unboxing, unpacking. And they helped me so much to like move down here, and they helped me financially to get me like on my feet to a point, and the fact to like help me drive a U-Haul across country to like make my dreams happen. I felt like it was in my means to help them too. So I stopped what I was doing, you know, I took off for 3 weeks, and it kind of like almost costed me my job. So if you don't know, in the restaurant industry in California, it's very competitive. It's very wishy-washy because it's kind of like the only means for a job that you can get without a degree. So there's a lot of people kind of like fighting for that, a position in it, because you know, you have your elder bracket, you have your younger bracket, you have your people that are wanting to be aspiring actors and models and, you know, stuff like that, that have to obviously have another form of payment until they have their dream job, that there's so much competition that it's not okay to just up and leave for 3 weeks. We all pick and choose our battles, and we obviously choose our decisions and how we treat our life, and it is what it is. But as I can say right now, my 2023 is not going too great. I'm in between jobs at the moment. I'm definitely not making enough financially without a savings account to satisfy my rent at the moment. I'm definitely hungry for money, if you could say, and I had goals for myself, and it's definitely not possible anywhere in the near future at the moment. If anything, I need to like move to a even cheaper apartment than what I'm already in, and I already don't feel safe in the apartment that I'm in, if that says anything at all. I hope it says something. I literally had a interview for my dream job probably about 2 weeks ago now, and I had my hopes set so high. The bar was set so high for myself. I was like, I can't believe I actually had an interview. I had a phone interview, I had a Zoom interview for like my dream job, and like after the discouraging news of like finding out that, you know, other candidates beat you to your dream job is very heartbreaking in itself. And on top of that, I've also been like applying to things that I know that I could do. It's not something that ultimately would make me 100% happy, but it would help me with my career in the long run, of what I want to do in the long run. But also it's very tedious. It's very long hours. It's contract like editing work, and that's like kind of where my next eyesight gauge is really hoping on this job. And I think the biggest thing is like I create like these smaller goals, and like I can't create a new goal until I've like finished that goal. And I think that's what's wrong with my mindset right now, is I need to really realize that like maybe I need to stop getting my heart set on things so heavily and just apply to so many opportunities that I get to choose which one I want to take, if that makes sense, rather than just being like, I want this one. Like, I'm not gonna look for anything else until I know if I got this one, is the wrong way that I'm viewing it. And maybe that's why everything's been happening the way it has, is like I need to learn patience. I need to learn the value of the unknown. Like, everything doesn't have to be like this map. It's gonna come and go in waves, and that's like the biggest thing I've learned in 2023. I need to get gas, but I will think heavily on some positives in my life. It's just really hard at the moment. I guess to kind of like wrap it up without me just saying that this is like a terrible year so far, is I'm reaching a lot of challenges in my life that are allowing me to grow as a person. I am super thankful that I'm healthy and I'm alive and I'm breathing. There's so many times I've fallen off my one wheel recently trying to deliver food on it. That will be a totally separate video eventually whenever I get around to like filming the other bits for it. But I could have died. I could have got ran over. I got hit by a car, for like heck's sake. And I think that's the thing, is you just have to like surround yourself with people that are just grinding and hustling and really know what they want and are really like going after it. Because if you surround yourself with the right people, you're obviously going. So I think that about sums it up. I'm on my way to the grocery store to pick up a few things. I'm really bad about punishing myself for no reason at all. Like, example being, I will only buy like a set amount of food, and then I will tell myself I can't eat anything but that set amount of food for like weeks on end, like 3 weeks. And that's just like me toxically having a bad example of food in my life, like thinking that like food isn't going to help me. But I think that's another thing that I really wish I could get over, is like not feeling so bad about eating out or about buying food, because I feel like punishing myself is not good for me in a way. Also, I have to get a parking ticket, so please hold. for the Target. And then after that, I actually have a networking event to go to later. They have like panels, usually like 3 or 4 of them, where they have different guests come on and kind of like either explain their story or showcase an extension to like an editing software for like various things. They're really cool, they're really insightful. I learn a lot from them. It helps me get out of the house, and it also helps me meet new people and basically what I want to do for a living one day. Oh, I hate parking. I don't know why I'm like this. I hate parking by cars that have like obvious dents, if that makes sense, because I get so scared that like they're gonna ding my car, which I guess that's a good thing. Another good thing, I guess, about this was technically in 2022, but I think it's still something to be very excited about. I recently paid off my car. My car is officially paid in full. I don't know how to feel about that, because if I wreck it, that's literally it, and I have to start a new loan or like start a new thing where I have to pay it off. And he's over here, you just can't see him. I'm gonna go in and get some groceries, not feel so bad for myself for buying groceries today because I had a really shitty day. I broke my nail. I had like a review where they basically shit talked me for like leaving for X amount of days and how horrible of a person I am. And you know what? I'm just gonna buy some food. I'm gonna feel it out. I'm actually gonna eat an actual meal tonight, and I'm just gonna be thankful that I'm alive, and I'm gonna be thankful that I get to meet new people. And even though I'm having these interviews and I'm going through these experiences and it's not all working out or the way I anticipate it, I know there's a plan for me. I just don't know how I'm gonna reach that. But I hope that this was very inspirational for you, is knowing that our 2023s don't have to always be filled with like success immediately. It's okay to have like a really shitty January, because that's how I'm feeling right now. I love you all, I appreciate you all, and I will try to be more consistent on YouTube. Thanks on the screen. Bye.